Hello and welcome to Shay Zasaa and a Zasaa Zooms in. Chinwe and I are together again.
Hello.
Thank you, Chinwe.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Today we're going to talk about, well, it's a little bit fun. Well, I don't know if it's going to be fun, but anyway. How have you changed since you were in high school, secondary school?
Okay, that's our topic.
That's the topic. And I'll tell you if she's lying.
Gosh, you're so vicious.
But it's an interesting one because I'm not even sure. Anyway, you go first.
Well, a major change, I think, is I used to be painfully shy. Do you remember me being painfully shy? Yes.
Shy. I don't know about painful. I remember you being shy.
No, I was very shy. Like, I just didn't want to talk. So I don't feel like I really started talking, like just open talking until, I mean, maybe I started when I was about 14, 15. Okay. Yes, so I think that's...
Well, secondary school started at what, 10, 11?
11. So yeah, I think I was painfully shy throughout secondary school and probably further on, you know. So I think that's a huge change. Also, definitely more confident. And, I mean, there's a long time between now and when we left. I'm thinking of the different stages. Like, we've gone through our 20s, 30s, 40s.
That's
We're
true.
now in our 50s. So many different changes.
Maybe this question was for someone who...
Yes, I think it's someone
just out of universe.
Exactly.
Well, we've gone for it now, so we have to stick to it.
Yes. So what about you?
I don't know, because you see, I find that people say to me, when people, especially people who haven't spent time with me for a while, haven't seen me for a while, when they meet me, they're like, oh my God, you haven't changed. They say it as a compliment. And I kind of get it. I think what they're saying is your core you hasn't changed. But I kind of think I should have changed. You know what I mean? So when they say it, I'm thinking, I'm not sure this is right, because I feel like we should always, you know, I always say that as you must be learning, you must be growing, you must be. So if they're coming to me 30 years later, they say you haven't changed.
But I think when people say that,
it's alarming.
You know, I think when people say that, they're speaking about the first you that they meet, the first part of you. Like, if I meet you now after how many years, I'm not going to know whether you've spent the last couple of years learning or anything. I'm just going to see, okay, is her personality still the same? Is she still as bubbly? Is she still, you know? And then I would say, yes, you're more Tinuke than you were before.
But you see, so have I changed? I was shy in secondary school, but most people nobody believes that, but I was, because I covered it up. But
so if you cover it up, then are you really shy?
Yes.
But if you're covering it up, that covering up, isn't that something?
But you see, but it's because Ronke was painfully shy, and my mom was painfully shy, and I saw both of them painfully. That's why I said I didn't think.
Your mom was a bit shy.
So that's why I said I didn't think of yours as painfully. Ronke and my mom, you know. So I basically watched them and decided I don't want to be shy, even though I was shy. I acted my way out of it.
Okay,
so that's
and you
what
can do that. You can fake it till you make it.
And I think I've made it now, but I still know that I'm. When push comes to shove, if you catch me on I am shy, but of course I know how to not.
Okay, so I think you can be shy. So I've seen some shy moments.
Do you know what I mean? But that is my real, you know. But because I've spent so many years covering, you know, not covering it up, but you know, just not making it. Because for me, with them, I felt it was a crutch for them. I felt it really.
It is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so I didn't want that for myself.
It's a terrible handicap.
Thank you. Handicap is.
It's a handicap. It's a terrible handicap. I mean, I know there'll be certain times where I would be in a space and I'll really be having fun, but I will not say a word. And people would always say, talk. She doesn't talk. She doesn't, you know, especially with my parents and, you know, siblings. But I'll be having a good time, but I'm just not saying anything.
Yeah. But it's interesting because my pastor, and I actually want to dig into this with him, but he always says that nobody was born shy. Something made you shy. And I want to, you know, dig, you know, kind of explore, unpack that a bit. But anyway, he always says that it's like, you know, nobody's born shy. Something happened that made you shy. And I'm always like, I want to know what happened to me, but I also want to understand what he means by that. But anyway, I'm coming for you, Pastor Ango. So I think, so I was shy, and but I didn't present as shy. Is that the right term? I didn't present as shy so much. So have I changed? I think, I don't know, apart from the normal change that you would expect in terms of just growing and, you know, maturing, I don't think I've changed in terms of the core elements of who I was.
Okay, so the core elements. No, I don't think people change that much.
Well, some people do.
Some people are still the same.
No, some are still the same, but what I'm saying is, you say that.
some people.
She meant that negatively.
No. Some people truly, some people, yeah, they can change out. You make a bit of effort here and there, but their core, your core of who you are, I believe, still the same.
No, but you see, and that's the point I'm making. So I think
you can only change. It's only Christ that can change that.
Yeah, no, Christ can change that. But what I'm saying is that, but you can. So, for example, you have okay, let me give you an example of a friend, and this is not. Anyway, so we were very close in secondary school, and then I met up with her in London, and she had changed. And when I say she had changed, you will understand this. She had moved to Lagos, and you know how we grew up in Ibadan.
She grew up in Ibadan.
She grew up in Ibadan. It's a different attitude. She had kind of accepted and become a Lagos person. I don't know how to explain. She becomes so,
which is negative, by the way.
Yeah, she becomes so, and I couldn't understand it because it just wasn't her. So that's what I mean by.
That's probably actually who she was.
No, maybe, but well, I haven't finished the story.
Yes.
So she changed, and I mean we kept in touch, but I couldn't because things that she was very superficial to me.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just couldn't understand it. Now, funnily enough, many years later, she's changed back.
Oh.
And the reason for this is it was the gentleman she was with at the time.
Okay.
So I think what I mean is like now if I hadn't been in touch with her now to know she had changed back, I would tell you she changed because she had changed for that period and she was a completely different person.
I see what you mean.
Do you understand what I mean?
I see what you mean.
But it wasn't at her core because I think it's Maya Angelou, that quote that says when people show you who they are, believe it.
Them. Yeah.
Because I think that's that thing of you are who you are, and like you said, it's
people
Christ that can change that.
We try and make excuses for people like, no, they did. This isn't actually how they are.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it is exactly how they are.
Yeah, but I've always had this. I'm sure I've had this conversation with you, but there's another friend of mine that I say, know your friends, know how they are, how they have presented themselves. So you now decide whether you're going to accept them like that or not.
That is a skill.
Which one? Knowing your friends.
No, knowing your friends, and that accepting them and believing who they say they are, and believing who they are is a skill. It's a skill because sometimes you don't want to believe. You want to fantasize and have your own little idea of how you think they are, or how you want them to be.
But is that not also a character thing, depending on
their character
person?
Or mine?
Yours.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
it's a terrible flaw. It's a flaw.
So when you said it's a skill for you, not necessarily for everybody.
It's a skill. No, yeah, it's a skill for me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's presenting now as a flaw.
Yeah.
So it is something that one has to learn to take people as they are.
Yeah.
Like this is who you are, and then
not take them,
not take them
and start trying to change them.
Yes, not even change them. Not even believing that there's some good. There's some people. There's nothing great in their core. I mean something, but it's not presenting.
Yeah. No, but I don't know because I just think that who you are is who you are. But I do believe you can change. Christ can change you.
Christ can change.
So I believe
you can also you can change.
And you can and there's a lot of things you can. And I think there's when you know better, you do better. So growth, age, there's certain things that are just going to
experiences
is going to make you. They're just going to make you change because
tough times also
tough times exactly.
People.
So there are things that will change. So I think to come back to the question, I think core wise I'm the same person. Wisdom wise I'm not the same person. Growth wise I'm not the same person. But core.
So when we talk about character and we talk about personality.
Yeah.
So I believe that your core is your character.
Yes.
Your core is your character.
Yeah.
Your personality, I mean, I can decide today to fake it and be a particular type of person.
Yeah.
And whoever meets me in that time will meet that person.
Yeah.
So I think your personality, you can have a great personality, but your actual character
cannot be great.
Is not great at all.
100%.
And so I think it's learning how to differentiate those.
But I think you see character in tough times. You see character in, like I remember saying to a friend of mine who went through an illness, and I remember saying, I've seen you at your worst. And you're actually horrible. Because there's some people that, I guess it's that thing like a tea bag. You know that thing they say where you put a coffee bean or whatever. Are you a carrot that melts, or are you a tea bag that brings out the best of what it's supposed to be?
I was just thinking of the coffee bean. But yes.
It's the same thing. I think coffee bean and tea bag are the ones that bring out water when you put hot water and then they bring out. But if you put a an egg in, it becomes hard on the outside,
Exactly,
and if you put
absolutely.
a carrot in, it becomes soft. So the issue being that, does hot water
What does it
change you,
do?
or
What
how
does it
how
do
does
to
it
you?
how does it bring out the best of you, or does it make you soft or whatever, or does it make you hard or whatever? I don't know. But I think definitely there's your character. You can, your personality. You can do.
You can
as
play
like.
around with your personality. You can take on different personas at different times. You can, like, what does Beyonce say? She comes out as whatever.
Sasha Fierce.
Yeah. So she can do that, and that takes her through. But who she actually is, that's her character.
But you see, the day that Beyonce said that thing, I said yes. I completely identified, and then the Christian world went crazy. They were all like, "Hey, what's she? That is a spirit to take in." They were all like, what does she mean? She takes on another personality. But I completely got it.
Sometimes, like, if
Completely
you're in a
got it.
space where, like, for me, I don't like anything public. It's hard for me, but I can pretend that I like it and just do it, and then that's it.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah,
It's almost like
I see that about you sometimes.
I know what needs to be done, and I will do what
Yeah.
I need to do it.
Yes.
But it's not because I like doing it,
Yes.
but because I'm doing what I need to do it.
It
I
looks
do it
like-
well.
yes,
and
exactly.
I do
And
it.
it looks
It
like
looks
you're-
like I am. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people miss that on me, because all they see is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
oh, that she loves it. She loves the attention.
But I know
of
that
it.
you want to be under your duvet with a cup of tea
But the
No,
hot cup of tea and a good
and
book.
a good book and a massage coming.
And a massage,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
exactly,
So we know that.
exactly. So yeah, so I think that, but so I don't know. Do you think I've changed?
I mean, you've grown. Have you changed? No, you're still. I mean, I've known you
Too long.
very long. I've known you. I mean, long. So no, because
Can
we
you not
still
say it like
no,
that?
because there are people that you can still get up to the same sort of things. Like, I know that there are certain things I can ask of you that I could have asked of you when we were 10.
Oh, okay. Like.
I mean, you didn't have anything then, so no, but like, if I say, okay, look, I need somebody to go and pick up my kids and
Okay.
take them here and do this, and I know that, okay, let me call you. Do you know what I mean? So you have those people that they're still the same. Do you understand? I mean, I don't know what you were doing for me back then. Like,
Yeah,
I
that I'm
pierced
trying
your
to do
ears.
so.
I think I gave you did one of your piercings, or which one? Who was it? There was many people.
No, hey, okay.
Do you know what I mean? There are things that I don't know what that has to do with this.
You're not landing,
Absolutely
and I'm
nothing.
waiting
not
for you
even
to
landing.
land.
I have no idea. Wait,
So the question was-
wait, this is a mess. Wait, no.
The question was,
I got
do you
that.
think I've changed? Then you said there are things I can ask you. So I thought you
No.
were coming, but
So-
somewhere you lost it.
Yeah. So I just think you've not changed. You've not changed
I've
in
grown,
who you
is it?
are.
Yeah.
Of course you've grown. Of course our experiences are different. You're a mother. You're a wife. So from high school, definitely you've changed.
Yeah.
You've changed in growth. And so obviously since you've grown, I have different expectations of you. And
Okay.
that. But are you different? Like, are you now? No, you're not different. You're still core-wise, I think you're still the same. With
So
a
you know,
lot
I
of
said
growth.
to you at some point that you were like that in university, and you said no. You said something. You know how when you make a decision,
You said something like
I said,
this. once. What
and
was
you
this
said
again?
to me, I now, and I said no. You've always been like
Yeah, I was
that.
very happy. Tell me again.
Because I don't know what happened in today's world, but I just remember very clearly when we were 18, something, I can't remember what the situation was, but it was like you were like, because I remember saying to Ali that when Chinwe decides, forget it. Forget it. And Wale was like, no, but she can't just make. I said, if she has decided, she has decided. And it's funny because you didn't think you had that until much later. Like, but you've had it all
Yes,
along. Where
exactly,
it's like,
exactly.
like
Yes.
I make it.
And so
but,
that's course.
But you did it. You did a quiet. You just
Yes,
make
very
the
quiet.
decision and you're not
That's it.
budging.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Now it's funny because someone said that about me. About making. In fact, the word that he used was, hey, is it implacable or unplacable? I think it's implacable, the word.
Should have checked this before we came on.
I will check
Wait,
it.
wait.
So he described me as, I think it's implacable.
Implacable.
And I was like, what does that mean? I went to Google
Yes.
it. I mean, this was many years ago. And I was like, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means, since neither of us
Seems you
implacable.
can't figure it out.
Implacable meaning.
What was it?
And basically, it means unable to be appeased or placated.
Placated.
Placated. That's what the word means. So you understand what that means? And his reason, what he said was that, actually, in the conversation, he said, "You scare me," which for me was a really, I mean, how can I scare somebody? So I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Not all the time, but you're implacable." So I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "Because some situation, I don't even remember, but you know that. But basically,
you're not going to be swayed by fluff.
Nothing."
Yeah,
he said that he knew that there was
fluff.
nothing that could shift me from the decision that I made, and that for him that was really scary because who is that show? Like who is that show?
Yes.
So, but it's interesting that he said that. So he had said that. I mean, he said that to me when I was maybe 22 or something. But I've never forgotten it because it was such a, first of all, I'd never heard the word before then. And I haven't really heard it since.
Exactly. I'm like, please forward that to me.
I've never really heard it since. But it was the you know, the whole thing of, so I was like, okay, because I know that, you know, they say determined. They say, you know what I mean? And I guess I would always have said determined. I'm determined. I've always been determined. But how does determined look in real life? To him, it's implacable, and that is scary because somebody should be able to talk sense to you. If it's something that is not,
depends on if it's something that you need.
Yeah, no, I mean, so he was the particular situation I was talking about wasn't what he was referring to. He was just saying that I could be so
dogged. You're like almost.
Yeah,
it has many different.
Do you understand what I mean?
It could be.
He was like that scared him because the idea that, and of course he's older.
Yeah.
I guess he would expect me to give
a little bit of
a little bit, like, okay, maybe if my age mates comes to talk to me, maybe I can be like, you know, but somebody that has more experience or whatever. So he said that really scared him because he just thought, wow, he's never seen in such a young person such determination.
Let's call it that. Right?
I don't know if I still have that.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I think I do to a degree, but maybe it has to really matter to me, whatever the thing is. Whereas before, it might have just been the idea of you are trying to take my rights away from me, you know, that type of thing. Well, I'm not budging. Whereas now, it has to really matter to me.
And I think, I mean, it depends on what it is we're talking about. Because a lot of times when you're very, you know, straight, I don't know whether it's straight-laced or implacable. You know, things soften you. Things soften you. Kids soften you. So things that you never...
Okay, so let me give you an example. One of the things that I have always said, and I don't even know why, because this is even before Christianity, but one of the things that I've always said is that I will not have an abortion. And it's not about... So I don't care how that baby came about. That child is going to be delivered. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's... And I'm implacable on that. I'm just not going to...
Are we going into women's rights?
No, but no, it's not even a women's right thing. It's just my thing that I'm not. I don't want to kill what I believe is a life.
Yes.
So if I happen to get pregnant and I don't want to,
matter.
It doesn't matter what the circumstances. Even rape, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. I will have that child. That's my own implacable. So something like that, I'm so firm on it. But what I'm saying is that not that there are very few things, but there are less things. So like maybe I would have been implacable or something a bit ridiculous before.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and now it's
Well,
so
whereas
many
now it has
things,
to
life
really...
experiences, so many things change those views. Absolutely.
But so I think it's so I think I still have it, but I put my I invest where it's necessary.
Exactly. You won't have those strong.
And you know the other thing is, it's funny what you said about motherhood, because I always laugh at certain parent friends of mine who are against certain things until their children start doing it. You know what I mean? Like they're literally like, that child is of the devil. That child, you know, and then their own child. Then they realize that actually your child's doing that too.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? So I think different experiences make you look at things differently, because suddenly you know that your child is not of the devil, and you know that they don't mean any harm by doing that. However, you've been looking at another child saying the fact that they do whatever it is makes them
to keep quiet. It's true. You need to
but that's judgment, isn't it? That's why
it's
you
a lot of
mustn't
judgment.
judge.
You have to keep a lot of your opinions to yourself, because a lot of times, you eat your words, whether you do it openly or you do it to yourself, quietly behind closed doors. You eat those words. Yeah, no,
I do think that's so you're right. Life
softens you.
Yeah, softens you, and I guess age softens you.
They always say you, and then you have you have many more gray areas in a lot of things the older you get, I think.
Yeah, but you see, can values change?
I don't think your values change. I think you just have more gray areas. I don't think your values necessarily have to change for you to have a larger it just yeah.
Well, the thing is anything really ever black and white? Do you know what I mean? As in, when you say you have a lot more gray areas, I think you're right that you do, but in reality, is anything really black and white? And I mean, I know that some of my Christian friends.
I mean, you
will
have
jump
gray
on
areas.
this.
Look at this. Okay, so your decision not to ever have an abortion, that's your decision.
Yeah.
So you made that decision and you stood by it, right? Now, let me not go there.
What are you going to say?
No, I'm
if
just
the child
thinking
had a
that-
disability or something.
No, not even that. I'm just thinking that, okay, would you make the same decision for your child?
So actually, good question. I can't make the decision
Exactly.
for my child. However, I have told my child I will raise the child.
Yes. Okay, good.
Do you understand? So I can't make the decision. In the end, she has to make the decision.
So
for
that's now a
herself.
gray area. So it's
How
not,
is
but
it
it's not your
gray?
decision.
It's
It's
not
not,
my
it's no longer
yeah,
your
it's-
decision.
so it's not
but
gray
it's
now.
still, you're not saying you must. It's your decision
Because I
for
don't-
yourself. But
Yeah, but what right do you have
You don't.
to? You see, and I think this is another problem that we sometimes think, as parents, as people in power, position of authority, that we have rights over other people's lives. You know what I mean? So you can have in certain situations where a pastor is telling you,
but
you
people
can't.
do have rights. They're not supposed to.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm
they
saying.
do,
They're
yeah.
not supposed to, and we allow them to because they're in positions of power or whatever. So obviously, parents have rights over the children's life to a point.
To a point.
But at a point, they have to relinquish those rights. Do you understand what I mean? So for me, I don't want my children, even my sons, should they get a girl pregnant, I would be very
Just-
happy to
yes,
take
of
that
course.
child if the girl. But I can't tell the girl not to abort the child. Do you understand what I mean? So there's a limit, but I can pray.
Of course, I can always pray.
I can pray.
Yes.
But what I mean is there's a limit to what I can.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that is a grey area. It's for me it's still black and white. I would want that child not to be aborted. However, it's not my decision. When it's within my decision, of course, so does that make it a grey area? I don't know.
It's
How,
like, I don't know. I mean, your own spaces, your own black and white space is very small. It's only you. You're the only one you can make the decision for, apparently.
No, in this
but some
partic-
people
in
can
this
make the decision
particular-
for their children.
no, I mean people do now.
That's
It's not that they can.
People-
I mean I could make the decision for me, but I mean at what cost?
So that's your gray area.
What?
That's a gray area. You could make it. You can make it at what cost? So because
So
you know
the
that there's a cost to
is
it,
the grey area.
the cost, the whole you making the decision or not making the decision.
No, okay.
Is
So
a
what I
great-
say, I can make the decision. Can I really make the decision for a 20-year-old who is a full-grown adult that at the moment I can't even get to? As in she could do anything and I wouldn't know about it because her doctor wouldn't even inform
Yes,
me.
exactly.
Do you
They won't
understand what I
inform
mean?
you
So I
anyway.
can't really make the
Yes.
decision for her. Now, if it was my 13-year-old,
Yeah, of course.
then I can make the decision.
exactly.
Do you understand what I mean? But and then again, you have to now weigh up these things. I still feel like every child that comes is not an accident. So whether the mother is 13 or whatever, it's not an accident. Of course, there are going to be consequences for every action. So if I make my 13-year-old go through with a pregnancy, the time she loses from school, what that will do to her herself physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that, that's the cost of her, which I guess maybe a lot of mothers would think just about the child. It's easier. But I still don't feel that way. Maybe I need to wait for the situation to happen to
Well,
say.
and that's another
But
one
you
of
know
those
what I mean?
things
Yeah.
where you.
So for the situation to happen, but for me, I don't. What I would then do is put in place all the support necessary to make sure that it's easy.
But so
her.
in that situation, you're talking about yourself, and then you're talking about your children, because
Yes, yeah,
that's where you
that's
have
inside
jurisdiction.
yeah, exactly.
But now, if you're in a place of
Power.
power where you're making that decision for many people, then you might have to. I don't know how we got here, to be honest. You might have to shift those.
It was implacable.
Implacable has now caused us this kind of problem.
But how would I be in a position of power that? You mean like in government?
Yeah,
or
if you're in
something?
government or something, and you're representing women, or you're the representative for many women, then
Maybe I just won't put
you
myself
just
in that
won't put
position.
yourself.
Especially because I think things like that are just so personal.
They're very
so,
personal.
There's
It's very tough. I honestly don't know
Yeah,
why
I-
anybody would put themselves in that.
Yeah, I
position,
think if
to
it's
be honest.
something like the other things, healthcare-wise, that are much easier.
Yes,
But
of
when
course.
it's something like that, it is so.
It's a very personal.
And I can't hold it like any woman that decides to abort.
That's there. Of course, that's
You
their
know,
decision.
you know what I mean. It's not something I would do. But I always say this thing: just because you would do something. You said this in the last clinic. Just because you would do something doesn't mean you can expect other people to do it.
Absolutely.
Or even demand them to do it.
No, you can't.
Everybody, once they are grown adults, each to their, everybody has their own right to make their own, unless they have learning difficulty, need help. But other than that, who are you?
No.
You know what I mean? And I think
we have 1 minute.
Oh my gosh. How does this happen?
you talk too much.
I know, right? It definitely wasn't me. It wasn't me talking.
So, have you changed since, I think we were on,
Have you changed?
Have you changed since high school? Are you in touch with anybody that you were in touch with in high school that can guarantee your answer that yes, you've changed or you haven't changed?
Who can vouch for you?
Who can vouch? Who can vouch for you? So yeah, I think what we're saying is that the core essentially doesn't change, but obviously experience, time, whatever.
Losing out on not talking till you were 16 definitely
makes you catch up. That's why she doesn't stop
I
talking.
talk a lot now. I will not
So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think, but I'll be very interested to watch my kids and see if they have changed, because I think it's a different world now.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah, and I don't know what. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Anyway, are you following us on YouTube? I ask you all the time. Please follow us on YouTube and subscribe so that you know when we post something. And do let us know what you think. Also, let us know if there are any topics you would like us to tackle. We'll see if we can. Yeah, see ya.
Bye.